Factsverse presents. This shelter dog was so desperate to see her old family, she pulled off the greatest escape. Help us spread the word about Factsverse by clicking that like button. And also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. German Shepherds are known for their intelligence. There are not too many breeds of domesticated dogs who can get jobs, and German Shepherds are one of them. These dogs commonly work for the police to search for drugs and bombs. They also work in the military for the same reasons. German Shepherds also work for emergency services as search and rescue dogs. These dogs get such important jobs because officials know that they are smart enough to handle the jobs and handle them well. Ginger is a German Shepherd, and like other dogs of the same breed, she is intelligent. Sadly, on September 17, 2016, Ginger was taken to the Apple Valley Animal Shelter in San Bernardino, California. Her owners could no longer care for her, so they had to drop her off at the shelter. The reason Ginger's family could not care for her was that they had become homeless. Ginger's owner started living in his car, and he knew that it would not be a good environment for his dog, so as much as it broke his heart, he took her to the shelter so that they could find a good home for her. Since the shelter had a no-kill policy, the owner knew that she'd be safe and they would find her a good home. Both the owner and Ginger were devastated that they had to separate. Well, on Ginger's first night at the shelter, the security system went off. The animal control officer went to the shelter to investigate what the problem was, and he thought maybe somebody had broken in. But when he got there, he discovered nobody had broken in. The animal control officer was confused because, according to the behavior of the alarms, it made it seem as though somebody was moving through the building quickly. Upon further inspection, the officer did find something wrong. The front desk was a mess. The papers and folders were on the floor, and the phone was on the floor, off the hook. The officer assumed that maybe a cat had gotten out, so he set up a cat trap and went home. The next morning, it was discovered that one of the dogs was missing from the shelter in the back of the shelter where the dogs for adoption were staying. The director of the shelter was told this about the alarm going off on Monday morning, and they quickly realized that the missing dog was, of course, Ginger. Since there were 3 doors between the kennel and the outside, everybody assumed that maybe a human had broken in and taken Ginger, so they decided to check the security cameras to see who that person was. When the staff watched the tapes, though, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Nobody had taken Ginger. She broke out of the shelter on her own. This shelter dog was so desperate to see her old family, she pulled off the greatest escape. First, Ginger got out of her kennel by climbing on top of her roof that was 6 feet high. After getting out of the adoption area, Ginger had to get through the doors. Well, since there were no handles on those doors and Ginger didn't have any thumbs, the fact that she got out at all is pretty incredible. She quickly figured out that the doors had push bars, and she realized that all she had to do was lean on those handles and she could open the door. The third door did have a handle, and she used her mouth to open that. She even left teeth marks on the handle. When she got to the front lobby, she jumped up on the desk to plan her next move. Ginger quickly found out that the shelter had an egress system to allow people to escape in an emergency, and that's how she got out. She could be seen finding her way out of the shelter all by herself. The staff couldn't believe that she had actually pulled this off. They say they've had a few dogs jump out of their kennels only to be returned shortly after. It took 3 days before this shelter finally found Ginger. She was in the neighborhood where her new owner was living. Unfortunately, somebody took advantage of Ginger and her story, and they started a GoFundMe page to try and get enough money to help Ginger's owner so that they could be together again. But sadly, the previous owner and the shelter knew nothing about it, and the money never got to them. But this dog, Ginger, truly is amazing and incredibly smart. Wouldn't surprise me if this dog could create its own GoFundMe page. Subscribe for more.